And we do not run away, but stay and serve because we are living in the purpose of Jesus Christ. As per government data, close to 27 million people were infected and there were 300,000 deaths. Until yesterday, 4,000 people were dying daily. But there is a data mismatch on the ground due to lack of adequate testing and false reporting. Even on a conservative estimation, the real daily death toll may be 10 times higher than what is being projected. We have never seen anything like this in the country. When it was at its peak, there were mass cremations and burials happening. Dead bodies were lined up for funeral pyre for hours. Even on the footpaths, they were cremated. There were also people dying in the hospitals without oxygen availability or an intensive care unit bed and access to doctors. Though COVID vaccination initiatives are on due to the lack of supply, many of these centers are closed down. Only around 11% of the population is vaccinated so far, and it is believed that only by December the whole country will be vaccinated. The black fungus and white fungus infections are increasing across the country with 8,000 people detected so far. Second, COVID cases are rising among the children. That is a worrying thing for all of us. Third, India's rural communities struggle desperately without basic health facilities. Most people are not taking the infection seriously due to the lack of knowledge and awareness. I have listened to the stories of how whole families are wiped away. In small villages, as many as 100 people died. This is the real situation of India now. Yes, we have lost many pastors, their spouses and believers. Many of them are personally known to me and to our family. Pastor Moti Ram ministers in a place called Sakri in Maharashtra. He was one of our senior pastors and an executive council member of our church. As a former graduate of the Bible college which I lead, he was so passionate about planting churches. He initiated about 22 churches in and around the place where he lived. Motiram had a fever and a body pain. That's all. He didn't consider it as serious. But on the third night, he felt breathing difficulties. Rushed to the nearby hospital, but it was too late. He went to be with the Lord in the month of April. We lost senior bishops, seminary presidents, faculty members, pastors and their spouses. The human capital, the experiential capital of the church is seriously affected. This is a huge loss for the leadership of the church and it needs to be filled in. Indirectly, every year, 6,000 plus graduates come out of various Bible colleges, seminaries, and due to COVID, there was no residential programs in these seminaries. The spiritual formation and mentoring process have been seriously affected. There is an emerging need for strengthening and engaging believers in the local church for mission and ministry. Doubling ministry and mission leadership are key for Indian church and the church need wisdom. We have developed a hybrid model, fully online theological training with a local church mentoring will help strengthen to fill in some of these leadership gap of the church. Prayer is so important for us. We know that the Korean church is a praying church. I plead on behalf of the Indian church to continue to uphold us in prayer. The church in India needs a lot of encouragement and motivation for us to move forward. We need resourcing that will help the church to be a good witness during this crisis. On the ground, Indian church is involved in a lot of activities, but many times the resources are not really enough to support our activities. Apart from developing a medical infrastructure, the Indian church and people are struggling in the following areas. First, the present COVID lockdown has impacted hugely the ordinary people, the daily wage workers, construction workers. It is said that 230 million people were pushed to poverty. Church is engaged in helping them. Our ministry is involved in providing monthly food supplies to many families. The COVID has left behind a large number of widows and orphans, both full and semi-orphans, and church is engaged in taking care of these vulnerable people. Malnutrition and hunger is increasing. 95 million children did not get midday meals. This was the only nutritious meal they ate in the day. Until we engage seriously in helping these children, we are losing a generation. Children's education has seriously affected. Online education has affected the rural students who do not have the access to smartphones or internet. Only 24% of the student population can access digital means or internet. That brings a lot of challenge to the future generation of our nation. We need the help of the Korean church to stand with us in developing all these areas and to bless the people of the country as we go through this crisis. Plagues and pandemic is not new. Each century had its own share contribution of pandemic to the world. The confidence that I have is in each of these troubled times, the church has seriously engaged in bringing healing and came out very strongly and victorious. I believe we will see even in the COVID crisis, we will come out victorious. The Bible reminds us that God has the ultimate authority to wound and heal. Along with this, there is always a prophetic anticipation. Ultimately, there is a day when Yahweh will gather His scattered, afflicted people to bind up their wounds and heal them. God is in His mood to restore us. There is hope. He is not just beyond us or in us, but ahead of us in the horizons of the future, open to us in His promises. I believe this is what that is most needed for us now. I see a tremendous amount of prayer and repentance all across the nation of India. I believe God is about to do a new thing. I believe that this will lead to a revival of the church. There is great opportunity that the Lord has given us to be His witness in this crisis. And we do not run away, but stay and serve, because we are living in the purpose of Jesus Christ.